Alright, so third league of the day. Running some Esper Shadowblade. Somebody wanted to see Esper Shadow. The list originally had like Ranger Captains and stuff. Not a huge fan of Ranger Captains, so I thought we would play the Stoneforge Mystic package with Sword of Fire and Ice, Cauldron Complete, and Lion Sash. Give us a little main deck Grave Hate. Give us Cauldron Complete for the quick clock. Sword of Fire and Ice to grind through decks like Murktide. And the sideboard, we've got Batter Skull to fight through any of like the burn stuff that we don't want to deal with. And yeah, like I haven't played this variation of Shadow in a while, so I don't have any real idea of like what we're doing here. We're just going to run into games, see what happens, see how the deck feels. Let's double check our mana base real quick so we can know what we're searching for. Like, I know I want to get Godless Shrine pretty aggressively with all of this. And then I probably want to get, like, Godless Shrine into Hallowed Fountain more often than not, because that gives me the most white sources for Lion Sash. So we'll keep an eye on that, see how it comes out. Do I think Jund Death Shadow can be any good? Yeah. Like, I don't think I've found the right variation of Jund Shadow yet, but we did trophy with Jund Shadow running Seasoned Pyromancer. So, like, Jund Shadow has to fight on a little bit different of an axis than like Grixis Shadow. Since you're never going to be able to say no to your opponent, you really need like all of your efficiency to come from getting your opponent dead. And with that regard, like cards like Seasoned Pyromancer get a really big buff because you're just not dealing with the randomness of your deck as much. So the last time, this wasn't the last Jund list, this is just the last trophy list. I played like Wrens and Grist, a couple Value Traverse, and like we trophied with this. Really good. Like, Wren and 6 has really impressed me in Jund Shadow. Alright, Inquisition into Stoneforge. So, you can see some of the lists in the Stream Decker link, but it's not going to have everything. It's like sometimes I just get on here and mess around with the list and don't update Stream Decker. Humans. Non-creature, non-land. So am I just taking Imperial Recruiter here? Or do I have to take Freebooter so that Stoneforge can get... No, Stoneforge is getting Fire and Ice. Fire and Ice is just nuts here. So I want to take Freebooter so I can play Stoneforge on turn 2 and get Fire and Ice. That's what I want. And we'll just play out Stoneforge. Yes, get Fire and Ice, say go. So that was one of their draws. Got to get the old Manus Rider command out for a spin. So Meddling Mage, sure. Name Fire and Ice. Prismatic Ending. Okay. Which means 100% Prismatic Ending off the top. No. Alright, that's really, really good for me. Let's see if they respect me top decking or drawing Batter Skull. Alright, so I'm just gonna let them have this attack. That's gone, that's gone, that's gone. Meddling Mage. So let's just Fatal Push this one, because this might incentivize them to play or to name Prismatic Ending with this one. Yeah. And I just like don't care about the Prismatic Ending. And this is getting what? Turok Dreadcantor. Okay, so let's fetch up. We'll just get Island, Stoneforge in the Sword of Fire and Ice. Okay, so if I strap up this, I'm more just like making sure that I can still play Gurmag Angler after this, and I can. We'll hit Meddling Mage. Then go land, fetch shock, play Gurmag Angler, hiya, Sigo. And then kick Turok. We say cool, because we don't have anything to do to the Turok anyway. Yep. Mishra's Bauble. I would love to pay for Esper Sentinel. Oh boy. That is a rough one. So what's my plan here? Like, if I attack, they're just blocking with a noble... No, if I attack with Stoneforge, they block with Turok. No, I should just equip the Gurmag. I shouldn't attack with the Stoneforge. Because they just get a free block with Turok if I attack. Now, am I shocking in Watery Grave? It's better if I hit Drown in the lock. But I don't think I'm in like a terrible spot if I hit Drown. Like, I mean, just to go to my turn and drown something. It's not quite a Drown in the lock. Oh, it's not a May. They have to bounce the Stoneforge. Okay. So the last thing I can get is Cauldra. But I mean, Cauldra will be good to be able to equip this Fire and Ice onto. Okay. Back-to-back Reflector Mages. Gross. Gross. Alright, so let's go get another white source. Interesting. So let's go Stoneforge. Go get Cauldra. And then Teferi. And I do just want to bounce something. What? I mean, I guess I can tick up here and bounce next turn. And if they, like, throw a bunch of dudes at Teferi, then that's fine. Or just tick down and draw a card. So if I'm ticking down, I might as well bounce something. Okay. So the last card's Esper Sentinel. So this is good for me. Alright. So if I go put in Cauldra, re-equip Cauldra with the Fire and Ice. I want to make sure I'm not, like, dead on the crackback. So I put in Cauldra. Equip Fire and Ice. Attack for 7. 2 damage, kills. Esper Sentinel. I am dead to like a Thalia's Lieutenant on the crackback. So if that's the case, I just don't want to do anything here, right? Or do I want to attack with Gurmag? No, we'll just not do anything. This is also way better against him top decking something like Manus Rider. Just another Imperial Recruiter. Okay. Recruiter for Recruiter. So I guess they're just going for the go wide plan. Any tips for beginner blue-white control players? I feel like every time I tap out for even just one turn, I'm making a mistake. Best advice I could give for the budding blue-white control player is just to understand, or try to understand, that not everything is an imminent threat. Like, there are going to be a bunch of really good cards that you need to deal with, and that is understandable. But there's also going to be a lot of things that just like aren't that important right then. And if they're not that important right then, you really don't have to deal with them. Let's see. I want to cast something here. Oh. Black, blue. Done. Yes. So I'm moving Fire and Ice here. Cracking in with the Germ. When do I play my own bombs? Like, get in when you feel like your opponent isn't going to be able to interact with them profitably is typically your best time. That's pretty good. Like, a lot of control is just not a perfect science. Do I want to move the Fire and Ice? Yes. Soul Ring, what's up? Somehow we got tricked into playing some Esper Shadowblade, so here we are. Aku TV, thank you so much for the follow. Hope you're having an awesome Wednesday so far. I could have draw stepped the Inquisition, you're right. Weed97, thank you so much for the follow. Hope you as well are having an awesome Wednesday. Appreciate you coming by and hanging out. But like, I guess what I'm trying to say about the whole control matchup thing is there's going to be a lot of times where like decisions are purely gut instinct, and you kind of have to be okay with that. But more often than not, like, your goal is just to keep playing Magic one way or the other. And all I mean by that is, like, as long as you don't lose that last life point, it doesn't matter. Like, just find a way to keep that last life point. If your opponent's not taking your last life point, it's not important at the moment. If they're not creating, like, some insurmountable advantage, it's probably not important. Like, if you're playing against Murktide and your opponent plays a turn 1 Dragon's Rage Channeler, there's very few reasons for you to interact with that Channeler, because the Channeler just ultimately doesn't matter. Could have held that Bauble in hand for Ledger Shredder, but I don't think I'm casting the Ledger Shredder soon. Also should have bobbled on their upkeep for Kite Sail Freebooter. Rough. Like, thinking too much about the blue-white control situation. But yeah, if your opponent plays a 1/1 Dragon's Rage Channeler, you can take 19 hits off that Channeler before you care about it. So spending a bunch of time and effort, like, worrying about it isn't too necessary. So let's get Stoneforge down. Yes. Get Fire and Ice. Always look for higher value. Not always. Like, there's times that just going 1 for 1 is going to be fine. But more often than not, if you're, like, rushing to make a play, it's probably wrong. Alright, so do I want to... That's not bad. What do I think about just, like, Gurmag and Prismatic ending the Sentinel? No. I'd rather Stoneforge. Here's a Batter Skull. Hiya. Please don't kite sail me, bro. Yeah. Esper Shadowblade. Like, with most blue-white control decks, your game plan is basically, I want to resolve a Planeswalker on an empty board. What can I do to set that up? So for a lot of the modern lists, it's like, hey, if I can turn 4 Supreme Verdict, you play dude after the Verdict, I untap and play, like, Little Teferi, bounce it, you replay it on your turn, counter it, untap, slam a big Teferi, game's over. Just on the spot. Or I Wrath on turn 4, you don't have a follow-up, I untap, play a big Teferi, game's over. Stuff like that. If you're playing, like, Pioneer blue-white, then finding some way to get, what's the name, Dream Trawler down on, like, an empty board's game over. That's all you're really looking to do, is, like, get to a point in the game where you can throw down your I win the game spell protected. If you feel like you can't get to that point until you have 10 lands in play, then don't do it till you got 10 lands in play. You might lose to the clock, but... Ornitoterismo. I feel like I've played this person before. Name sounds familiar. But I don't know if he's in the chat right now. He is not. One of my local friends here plays a ton of blue-white control. That's like his forte. And he usually gives pretty good advice. I think for the most part he'd say a lot of the same stuff. Like, if you don't have to do it, don't do it. Teferi seems good. Teferi against my opponent playing basic Island Go. Drown and Lock not looking as good. Never mind, Drown and Lock looking better. Opponent not playing a land looks good. Could go Ledger Shredder plus Shadow. I think I'd rather just slam Teferi. Got Spell Pierce. Do not. Carry on. Dash a monkey. You got it. People love dashing them some monkeys. Have monkey, must dash. Ah. Okay. I could bounce their treasure token. So let's go Shredder plus Shadow. See what we draw into. So I could ditch my second Teferi and just play Gurmag here. I kind of like that. Maybe I don't want to play the Gurmag. I don't really want to be just dead to like second what's it called? Second bolt. Do I want to bounce this treasure? I think I do. And I think we caught our opponent F6'd. Because if they had, if they weren't F6, they should have just sacked the treasure token and blanked this. Blue Delta's fine. Ditch an extra bobble. So let's fetch up a Watery Grave. Tick up to Fairy. Am I casting 2 spells this turn? I don't think so. So there's not really a reason to do anything pre-combat. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Play Gurmag Angler. Say go. Now they really need like Murktide plus something. But I don't think there's a whole lot of plus somethings that I care about. Shredder's fine. Yeah. You're dead regardless. Alright. So we've got Stubbs, Mystical Dispute, Spell Pierce, Flusterstorm. Push. We're bringing the other to Fairy. Oh man. Are we just going like full on Esper control game too? What are we boarding out? Six cuts. Maybe I don't want all 3 Teferis on the draw. I think Batterskull's where I want to be. Because if I just like Batterskull up a Gurmag Angler, I'm outgrowing Murktide really heavily. Maybe I don't. Or maybe I want to drop Cauldra because they just have so many ways of dealing with Stoneforge. No. That can't be right. Drop Snapcaster because they got Grave Hate. This is tough. I'm just going to not bring in Batterskull. Is that... Nah, I got to keep Batterskull. I'm going to board out the extra Teferi on the draw. I just don't want to get out-tempoed with a bunch of Teferis in my hand. Sure. Don't Ragavan me, bro. I said not to do this. I said not to do this. Why are you doing this? Okay, sweet. That's a bunch of Stoneforge Mystics. Spell Pierce. Yeah, I'll take a Spell Pierce. Just take counter spells so I can resolve Stoneforge. If they don't top deck something. Alright. No counter spell one time. And I think I'm just getting Fire and Ice here. Or no, am I getting Lion Sash? Let's get Lion Sash. They might like not Expressive Iteration and hold up counter magic instead. Well, no, holding up counter magic's pretty bad if they've if they're not, or if they're thinking about me Stoneforging in Lion Sash. Alright, so I can get the second basic here. So I think I'm just going for... I think I'm going for second Stoneforge. Because they're just saving this Archmage's Charm for like a Cauldra token. I'll stub this. I didn't want to get Basic Island, but once they got Basic Island, that kind of got me spooked of Blood Moon. Which could very well be wrong. Ooh, no land drop. That's pretty sweet. So let's go put in Fire and Ice. Strap it up. Can't kill my Stoneforge. So let's see. This is hitting for 5, put them down to 9, draw a card. If they untap and play Murktide, I go to my turn, hit them for 5 again, draw a card. I guess they just decided they didn't have a chance there. Like, they would need Murktide into second Murktide to grow the first one, but they didn't have enough instants and sorcery, so yeah. Heck yeah. Esper Shadowblade, too good. Would y'all say this is either a 5-0 or 0-5 deck? Nothing in between? Living up to that prophecy so far? But whoever was asking about Jun Shadow earlier, this is kind of what I've been messing around with recently. So Just if you want to take a quick look at that. I'll go back after like the next match or something. But come back here. Join. I'd love to play first. All right. Hold up this here. Fatal Push. Watergrave. Mill. Oh boy. So if that's the case, let's Stoneforge off of this so we don't turn on Drown in the Lock if they have one. I'll just get Cauldra, say go. Don't archive trap me, dang it. Where's our 15 mana, dude? Not where he needs to be, that's where. No. They have counterspell, like actual factual counterspell. All right. Need you to fire off that Tasha's. Just windmill slam it. Tasha's go burr. Not. Why are you not firing off the Tasha's? Fire off the Tasha's. Duh. Ledger Shredder's probably good enough to bait a counterspell, right? Yeah. Boom. I really hope they don't have another archive trap. Surgical extraction might drown in the locks. Oh no. Oh no. Oh. We're in danger. We're in danger. So let's get Godless Shrine. We do still have Lion Sash in our deck. Okay. Blue, whatever. No, let's tick up with Teferi. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right. We need some good luck. Bounce nothing. Ooh. Ooh. Close. Just play a crab. It's not a crab. Alright, deck. One of your finest Death Shadows off the top. I will take that. I will absolutely take that. Yes. So, it's the only other thing we've got left. So let's go ahead and drop you down. Say go. Come on, crab. Come on, crab. It's not a crab, but we'll take it. Okay, is there a way to kill my opponent from here? They're at 9. If I put in Cauldra and grow this Lion Sash 3 times, they're dead. So if I minus the Teferi to draw a card and find a white source, do I have white sources left? I've got another Hallowed Fountain still in the deck. And that's it. So that's got to be worth playing too, right? Because if they draw anything, they're just playing it. No, I can draw Step Teferi. I can draw Step Teferi. That's better. That's way, 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 way better. So we'll go here. Put in Cauldra. Tick up Teferi. Swing, swing. Pass the turn. Go to their draw step. We've got to stop. Draw step. Inquisition. Yes! Oh, man. That's so fun. Spell Pierce, all these stuff. I want March. Hits Ensnaring Bridge if they've got that. Which I'm sure they do. So what if we just like get rid of a bunch of the stuff that doesn't hit Ensnaring Bridge and bring in like a removal that does happen to hit it? That seems fine. Three cuts. Do I want Batter Skull? Batter Skull seems meh. Do like this. Okay. Whew. This is really bad against Crab. I think I'm going to ship this just for the sake of, like, doing nothing against an opposing Crab. Alright, this is better, and I'm ditching Bobble. Bobble's a free card for Tasha and also mills this for one. Yeah, but the issue with cutting Baubles is you're like an 18 land deck. So if you just get rid of all your redraws, there's a much higher chance that you're not going to see like your second and third land on curve. But yeah, this was like the whole reason we kept this hand was to have an answer to a crab. Hiya. And then they archive trap us for 1 trillion. Approximately. Or they surgical extraction by marsh flats. They really took their time deciding on that archive trap. Like, do I archive trap him? He's searched, I know, but... Don't we all just search? Alright, so... I think I would rather them counter the Stoneforge here. If they've got to drown. Do not have the drown. Let's get a Lion Sash. Say go. And are we just throwing down Cauldra? Hiya. See. People want to play Ranger instead of Stoneblade for real. Every game we won just with Mythics. I mean, yeah, like, this is way more impactful than just playing a 3-mana 3/3 that goes and gets your Shadow. Like, this can win games by itself. Oh, please. Please give us this land. So close. But at least we get to set up for lethal when we do find it, so... So, Godless Shrine, Hallowed Fountain. So we still have another Shrine and Fountain in the deck. Alright. 2, 3, 4. I kind of want to hit things that, like, I don't want them to hit with surgical. So my lands, spell pierce, because I've got one in hand. Prismatic endings. And come on, just hit polluted delta. Yeah. Opponent, please don't play surgicals on both our chalks. So that's why I'm exiling them, because I don't want them to hit them with surgical. No. Just land archive trap. No. Because I need my fetch lands. They have the mystical dispute. No! No! So now we have to naturally draw. All right. I mean, if they exile my yard and I draw into the shock land, they can't drown in the lock my prismatic ending, which is something. Or they just toshes me for a mile. There's Godless Shrine and Hallowed Fountain. They got both up. Or no, I exiled those. Never mind. Never mind. We're still good. So close. Ashiok, Ashiok. Alright, be nice. Be nice. No second Tasha's. No anything relevant. Stop it. They got Godless Shrine. I still have Hallowed Fountain in the deck. Flashing in Snapcaster. Come on. Hallowed Fountain. Okay. So we go Ashiok, Ashiok, them. Well, that's got indestructible, so sure. Ashiok, Ashiok. Oh, they're just getting the cards out of my hand. Sure. I gotta risk the crab, right? Risk them hitting the land and exiling my Hallowed Fountain so I can hold up Drown. Alright, Hallowed Fountain still alive. Just play a spell that I can drown. Right here. I know you can do it. Believe in the me that believes in you. Alright, Hallowed Fountain, one time. One time. Hallowed Fountain. Alright, I'm double spelling here to try to find it, right? That gets it. So we can discard you. Play you out. Go ahead and get the Hallowed Fountain. So they can't do anything about it. I've got a Stubborn Denial left in the deck. So I'm going to... I can't crack the bauble because if they draw a fetch land... Oh. So if I crack the bauble, I'm dead to fetch land. I think I have to crack it. Because if I don't crack it, I'm dead to any mill spell off the top. Stubborn Denial. One time Stubborn Denial. A 1 in 7 chance. You can do it, deck. I believe. One time Stubborn Denial. Don't toy with my emotions here. Opponent, don't do this to me. I need to know. Give me Stubborn Denial or give me death. Opponent, this is torture. It's like a 14 and 2/7% chance to rip it off the top. Opponent, you can't do this to me. My heart can't take it. Survey says, no. And you just fire off this archive trap. Or they're not. The sheer discipline. Are they going for the upkeep? But you shouldn't go on my upkeep because I get to untap my black source and you know I have Drown in the Lock in my deck. So yeah, they should have done this on their turn. I haven't shown you Counterspell anywhere in here but you know about Drown in the Loch. So there's no reason to pass and let me untap my black source. Alright, so we did have the call on Ensnaring Bridge. I bored out Lion Sash. It hadn't looked too good. And do I want the third Teferi? Third Teferi over Fire and Ice. Let's go with that. Okay. Have to draw the second land. Damn Shadow and Stoneforge, my god, man. How's it feeling? Well, I mean, we won our first two matches 2-0. Beat up on Murktide pretty bad round 2. What do we play round 1? I've already forgotten. What did we play round 1? Oh, not that one. Oh, we played Humans round 1. That's what it was. Humans indeed. So I think we're going to lead on Thoughtseize here. I think I want to lead off Godless Shrine Thoughtseize. It's a little bit better or worse for Mystical Dispute and Stub, but like I need to find a second land anyway. But it lets me Thoughtseize. I don't have to take a crab. I can go to my next turn and Prismatic ending one if I don't find a land. I guess my opponent disconnected briefly. So they do have a pair of crabs. So let's go ahead and take one of those. Alright, I would love to find the second land right here. Toxic Shores, Hedron Crab. Bye-bye crab. I would really, really, really like to Mystical Dispute this Tasha's Hideous Laughter. Ooh, thank you. Yeah, we're just going to pass here. Pasha's Mystical Dispute this. Am I sitting on Ledger Shredder? Or sitting on Drown, or am I just getting... Yeah, let's just sit on Drown. Good call, me. Good call. Get Cauldra. Up the chances that they just spend Fatal Push on this Stoneforge. Yep. What can I do to not turn on Visions of Beyond? Nope. Really banking on them not having another removal spell there. Yep. That hurts a lot. Alright, so I need to go Shredder plus Shadow. Oh. That second Fatal Push just like wrecked my world right there. Okay. Ooh, what's my plan here? Ten cards in my library, and they've got Oboro. So I know they're going to have a land drop every turn they want one. Or they just top deck the Fractured Sanity. Never mind. Oh, man. I feel like that should have been a better match for us. But just not hitting lands. Or actually, that game was less us not hitting lands and more our opponent like hitting what they needed when they needed it. We did end up top decking a couple lands there. Could have used one more to get Stubborn Denial online. But I mean, at least we picked up a game off of them, so we can say we didn't go down without a fight. All right, what do we got next? We got to regroup. Not regrouping with that very well. It's better. Let's ditch stub. So they revealed Gigantha, so it could be a Ragavan deck. Yep. Yep. I kind of want to just Thoughtseize here, but it's probably better to get my own Ledger Shredder down. If I had like a fatal push and could kill their Shredder plus play mine, it'd be a lot more enticing. Yep. And they got the Croaks of discard. So like, these are the things that I miss on this deck. Like, I don't think I ever have turn 1 Ragavan, turn 2 Shredder with the lands. And then if I do, my opponent's got like the removal spells for both of them. And I never get to like this untap spot here. So this deck definitely feels a lot more powerful when you're doing all those pieces together. It's a pretty good series of Magic cards. Yep. It would be 100% different on the play, because then I'm like, turn 1, Thoughtseize your Ragavan, turn 2, Thoughtseize your Ledger Shredder, or if you Thoughtseize my Thoughtseize, I get to Prismatic Ending your Ledger Shredder before anything really happens. Are we swinging? If you swing and I draw a fetch land, you're on chump block duty with the Shadow. If you don't swing and I draw a removal spell for your Shadow, I might get to swing back. You're at a virtual 9 if you want to play Croxa. And I can for sure say we don't draw multiple expressive iterations. I am terrible at finding that card. Am I just playing Sword? Alright, so if I fetch Shock to 7, play the Sword, pass. They fetched in 7 as well. They get back Croxa. So, like, my out is something like they escape Croxa and attack with both of these. And I get to block Shadow, take the Ledger Shredder. On the crackback, strap up Fire and Ice, swing in for lethal. That's like my chance. See, Mirror Complete. Someone in chat last week told me Modern Storm was tier 1, so I looked the list up, and in 2 weeks I've lost 1,800 play points and have gained 12 treasure chests. I don't know who told you that deck was tier 1 right now, but I would probably not be friends with them much longer. Like, I think Storm is a solid deck if you're comfortable playing it and understand how to interact with the hate available. But if you don't, that deck can be rough. So, escape Croxa. But, like, for Modern right now, you're rough against Murktide, rough against Burn, rough against Hammer Time, really rough against Death Shadow. How do I get my play points back? You don't. You're out of luck on that one. I don't like that attack because it puts them in a position where if I just drew like a fatal push, I kill Shadow swinging for lethal. Like, obviously I didn't draw the fatal push back, or fatal push, but make them show that they're willing to block. Hearse is great. Spell Pierces are okay. Rock March. feel like Batter Skull's got to be all right. Let's see. Can't block with Shredder anyway. What was their life total? Because if they were... They were at 7. See, I guess they would have been dead anyway. I was thinking they were higher. If they were at a higher life total, then they could have taken the attack if they didn't attack. But no, if they were at 7, then they were dead, yeah. Take the conservative life total approach. No, Fatal Push is really nice there. If they Croxa, I'm probably just ditching Shadow. Hearse, you got it. I just want to Teferi bounce the Hearse. See if they'll spend a bunch of mana replaying it. No attack. Don't want to lose my Teferi to a bounced in or a dash in Ragavan. Expressive iteration. Oh, it's Lightning Helix adjacent. Give me another spell. It's like you can't play the spell on my turn, so if you got something you want to cast, you better do it now. Ditching Shadow. Or are we ditching Gurmag? Probably just ditching Gurmag. Yeah. Land is good. So let's go tick up on you. Play Stoneforge. Get Cauldra. Then Godless Shrine, play Shadow. Get Shredder trigger. Ditch the Flooded Strand. And we'll go ahead and attack with Shredder. Like, I'm planning on Fatal Pushing this Shadow anyway, so... Drown in the lock, my lawyer bird. Okay. This has got to mean like second removal spell, right? Attack it to fairy. No. Yep. Keep the new one. Bounce you. All right. What you got? It's like another time that a lot of these non-expressive iteration builds just look abysmal when you're playing against that card. Well, I wonder what their hand is if they're tanking. Because, like, if they just have shadow removal spell for my shadow, then that's, like, probably good enough. Because you know I've got the Cauldron hand. You saw it off the Stoneforge. Alright, so we bounce the shadow again. Yeah. Then Fatal Push. We're just attacking with the shadow first. Guess we're just attacking with the shadow. Because they're going to block regardless. Or they have to block regardless. And if they... I was going to say, if they double block, then I could eat the expressive iteration to shrink this. I'm just going to eat that anyway. Okay. So if they attack at Teferi, I just let Teferi go and kill the Shadow. Alright. So Teferi's gone. So this is a permanent card, put a 1/1 counter on it. So exile Shadow, exile Unlicensed Hearse, exile Shadow, have to chump both of these. And I'm just going to pass. Bluff this super cool interactive spell that I drew that's totally ending me the game. Oh, actually, I should have played out that land, because if I just top deck another land, I'm hard casting Cauldron for lethal. Whoops. Deserved that one. I'm going to go ahead and grow this past Unholy Heat, though. If when this game started you had said you're going to be hard casting a Cauldron, maybe for lethal, probably wouldn't have believed you. But yeah, if I hadn't been stubborn with the land before trying to bluff, I could have just like drawn land and played Cauldron that turn, and that would have been game. So that was a big, big, big punt on my side. In fact, we'll go ahead and give myself a punt in chat. Yep. Just ditch the Cauldra. Okay. I think they should just attack here and play for the win. Alright. I can still grow Lion Sash past Shadow if I need to. Third iteration. Yep. I got Terminate. Oh boy. I'm starting to come around on the argument of banning expressive iteration in every format. Alright, so let's go. And get rid of a card type. Now you have just attack with Shadow. Yep, have to chomp. Yeah, we punted that away by not playing the land and holding it with the Cauldra. That was such a punt. There's like no good reason to hold that land outside of a bluff, and we just like didn't need to bluff there. No way they ban expressive iteration without banning 4 color cards. Well, I'm not saying like they should only ban expressive iteration. I'm saying like that card is probably ban worthy. Like in the list of cards that are problematic in Modern, Expressive Iteration is probably on the list. Noble Hierarch. Is this Yawgmoth? Is in fact Yawgmoth. Let's just take the wolf. And do we just get Lion Sash here? That's kind of cheeky, right? Probably not. Cauldron's just like better, but I think you could have made a very reasonable argument for Lion Sash. Maybe if they had more dudes here. Ban Yorion, Omnath, and Expressive Iteration. Let's go. Well, I agree with one, maybe two of those. So, if I get Godless Shrine, play Shadow. Swamp, play Shadow. Just Godless Shrine, play Shadow. I don't think Yorion's ban-worthy. Omnath, I definitely think is. And I would really like to win this game without showing them Lion Sash. Got it. Better have a good follow-up. It's a pretty good follow-up. Never mind. You are dead. So let's Thoughtseize first for any information. Nope. Just in case we saw like some cheeky card that we didn't know about. I'd also ban something from Hammer and Living End. I mean, if we're talking about just like my list of stuff I think needs to get banned from the format, which I know we've discussed countless times on here, something would be getting hit from all of those decks, no doubt. This matchup probably gets a lot better with prismatic endings in March. But like, oh, Expressive Iteration is on the pretty short list. Ragavan is for sure. Urza's Saga and Hammer Time. Violent Outburst in the Cascade decks. Like, Thoughtseize. Take a Thoughtseize. If this is Wall of Roots. I don't know, Innkeeper deal. I guess I should have killed that with the trigger on the stack. In case they have like Veil of Summer there. Endurance, Court of Calling. Problem Saga's banned. This card. Let's see. Yeah, Shadowblade. Outside of some good draws by our mill opponent, it's been a pretty fun league. So you're saying that, like, Saga shouldn't be banned because it's not only played in Hammer? Is that the argument we're going with? Eldritch Evolution. Because, I mean, I would still say that it needs to be banned, even if it's not just played in Hammer. Like, I'm not trying to suggest bannings that are only played in one specific deck. I'm trying to suggest bannings that are too good for Modern in general, because other parts of the format just, like, can't keep up. Hammer should be nerfed. So you think only Hammer should be nerfed, but not Urza's Saga as a card? Is that fair? I'm trying to make sure I'm understanding your argument here. It sounds to me like you're saying Hammer Time needs to be nerfed, but Saga shouldn't be the card to get the axe. Alright, really gonna hope that their last card isn't a Veil of Summer. Second Geist. Do I care about Second Geist? I can just counter this and untap and Prismatic Ending this one. Is that better? Yeah. So I know their last card is Eldritch Evolution, so I know they can't cast it here. Prismatic Ending this. Yeah. Carry on. Yeah, last card's Eldritch Evolution. I saw it off the top from the bauble, and they didn't shuffle. I could evolution that away into a what's it called? Grist. See, I mean, a lot of Saga decks will just lose potential to fight with tier decks. Meta will be still around 3 to 5 decks. So, my argument for like hitting Saga has always included it shouldn't just be Saga. We need to exile, or we need to get rid of like 10 cards in Modern that cover a variety of decks. So I'm not just saying, like, destroy Saga to get rid of the decks, or to get rid of Saga decks and leave everything else to thrive. Like, no, everything else is going to get hit too. Alright, so 3-2 with Shadowblade. It's pretty fun. Our losses were to Mill and to Grixis Shadow. Which the Grixis Shadow player just saw a whole bunch of expressive iterations. And we punted game 2, which would have at least given us a game 3. Mill, they saw some pretty hot draws there at the end of game 3. So, overall, worked pretty well. I was pleasantly surprised. It felt like when our opponents had Grave Hate, we had Stoneforges and stuff. And so I'd be okay giving this another shot sometime.